Okay, with this part of the arm, the main moves that we do are that little elbow move. I only do that on some people, but I actually hold pressure points through here and then move it like this. And then I can get different points, different bands, while holding the points and moving the arms, okay? He's liking that. Yeah. Similar to that move there in the leg, but a bit different, just a bit different.
So you have is that kind of what tendon, ligament bit.
All right. Now again, we can work not just here, but we could follow that up. Give him a Wendy slap. There you go. Relax. Or just get in, distract him if he's holding there. You know, come in here, get him breathing. Now he's relaxed here, and I can work back into here. I could actually follow that all the way along different bands, just holding and moving the arm up and down. Okay. And then we can have the shoulder up like this. We can work into where all the bands join. It's very easy to get these bands when the shoulder's in different positions. We can have the shoulder up like this, work behind here. All right? Yeah. We can put the neck into different positions though to massage it. Okay? So you can get different bands that you can access with the neck like this. You know, you can have the neck over here, you could have the neck up. We can support the neck like this and massage behind like this with it nice and stretched up. Begs the question if you have a nice padded belly, whether it all becomes tax deductible. All right, we can move the neck into different positions and then just massage the muscles. So we got a whole lot of different bands coming up into the neck. All right, facing over.
What about the entire belly then?
Yeah, you can work that as well. Again, most people aren't going to like their throats being massaged, but this is you basically just going up through here with the thyroid and the whole, like that. More of a connoisseur's move, and it has to have a lot of trust. You have to, you know. But yeah, it all comes up, and especially because you're so tight. You know, a lot of these points, even though we've got this point here from the inner wristband, it joins with the big toe belly band, okay? So just like in the opposite on the back where we've got those junction points, we've got a junction point right in here as well, okay? Yeah. Yeah, your toes are so... You can work, you know, do all these kinds of things, have the foot supported and work like this or work like that, but again, with tools it's easier just to use a tool in here. But the next major move that we do that's a special move is an ankle rotation. And how we do that is, I mean, you can also do all this clicking from this position, you know, so sometimes just a different angle might give you different joint, you know, might allow certain things to move that work.
That finally click?
These ones click, but no, not the big one, not really, no. But what I do with the ankle rotation is I keep the leg nice and straight, like this. I'm not going to be going all over the place like this, okay? You want to isolate them to the ankle. And I get a nice wide leg stance. And then I support here and support here. And then I'm just going to turn the ankle to a full rotation. And again, if they have smelly feet, just keep your nose away.
Put a mask on.
Yours are Where was that? I heard something. Okay, so we're taking it to a full rotation. For people who are what we call connoisseurs, we can actually do some really nice moves in here. So with the foot stretched up like that, we can hold points like this and work around. I call these points treasure troves because there's can be a lot of like reproductive and sexual energy and guilt and shame and all that kind of stuff stored in here.
Those points on me during my worst week are the most painful spot on my body.
Yeah. So what we can do is just hold and shake, and that'll send all the energy up, or we can caress. So here I'm just caressing through here, or holding. Sometimes I even get two different points, like in here and in here, and then just shake it. Some people do find it uncomfortable, but it's good for them.
And you do, and from that angle, do you get in there as well when you rotate to get those front, that band in there at all? That right there?
You can if you want to.
I do that a fair bit.
Yep.
I'll rotate their foot around as
Yep.
I'm kind of loosening that one there.
Yep.
I wasn't sure if that was one you did or...
Yeah, you can. That big toe is still very tight. It's just,
Yeah.
let's see if I can get it to move a bit better. I mean, you can also do this kind of stuff, you know,
There's the
We're getting some nice clicks and things. You could stretch open like that and then to here as well. Again, up to the person's taste. This is, like I say, more of a connoisseur's move. Somebody who really wants to get better and get rid of that very trapped energy that's stored. Okay. But again, I'm getting stuck because of this. This joint just does not want to shift.
That way or that
Yeah,
way?
that way,
That
but
way.
this hand is here.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Right.
So,
So-
so it's tilting it kind
Yeah.
of, but not holding it down. Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
not like that. Yeah.
Because I do that, but I'm, you know what I mean? People, it's fucking intense. You know what I mean? Like, so it's, I don't do it as hard as that, but I would like to.
Yeah. Some people
Not to
find
hurt
it a bit
people, but just
uncomfortable.
to really.
Don't do this, holding here and rotating the ankle.
Yeah.
It feels very unsupported.
Yeah.
The person's going to tighten up against you and you could more easily pull a tendon or something. Okay, so it's always here, not here.
Yeah.
Okay, like that. And then again, you're going to use some of your leg strength. Okay, so you're, see how I'm coming down?
Yeah.
My legs are bending. Okay, so very powerful moves to do around the ankle there. Again, through here, we don't do that much. Okay, it's just very simple stuff. But here we can do just simple moves by holding and bending the leg while holding the different bands. So you could hold like that, you could hold like this, or like this. And just work up. But again, we don't want to go too hard now. That's so tight in there, but it's from his big toe.
Yeah.
Okay? The same, we can work all the way up here. And then we can come into his hip and we can open it up like that. And then this is a nice move where we get into the hip here. And it depends on the band. Okay, we can work different bands that are tight. So we've got, you can see how tight he is on that outer. Does anybody want to feel that?
You can see it.
I know. So that tension there is going to come up through here and right into here. So after we've loosened up that side of the toe, then we could come in and expect that we can open up this hip. If I just do that really hard now, I'm probably going to bruise him. So I'll just go medium. So what I do is I get my position, and you can see my leg is actually quite far back so that I can use my back leg strength to push into here.
Yeah.
Not just like this with my shoulder and arm.
Yeah.
All right? And then I get the leg open like this and the point of my elbow on that band. And I even can come around more like this until I get my right position. And then I hold the leg like this, get him to breathe in, and then I move the leg like that.
Fuck yeah. It's a good one. And you kind of like you're rotating a little bit as well, or you just
Mostly side to side, but it's a bit rotating for him.
Yeah.
The other thing I can do is bring the leg up like this, and then use this elbow while he's stretched open. And then just get into here. I could even follow that up a bit, not too hard with the elbow. And I can stretch his arm like that, and then get in like that.
you can feel. Oh yeah. So that's right there, what you would be working, like when you would go into there, or is it more up a little bit?
Yeah, not on the rib cage, so more into here.
Yeah.
We can also do a bit of, again with a loose wrist, because he's so tight in here, I'm doing it fairly firmly. But again, I know he's tight, some of that's not gonna let go.
And so I know you're not into, you know, like the kind of compartmentalised names with muscle bands and stuff, but the iliotibial band or whatever, that's the outer little toe. Like that is runs
Yeah,
up.
except that they don't understand that it goes to the little toe.
Yeah.
They think it finishes here.
Yeah, yeah.
So I've had people on my YouTube who are existing massage that they're going, oh, the iliotibial band doesn't go to the little toe. That's why we call it the little toe. Okay, we can also work like this. So a single elbow on the same side of the spine, just to get some deeper pressure. Or I can work with a double elbow, and I can have one elbow anchored in here, and then coming up into his back.
And is that almost to kind of, as you said, anchor the muscle there so that then when you drop the elbow in there, it's really stretching it?
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
And I can even work in here a little bit. And again, come in and shift my body weight. And there I'm rolling over the muscle. So I can apply pressure like shiatsu, which is pressure on, pressure off, or I could combine it and make it like a deep tissue roll over of that muscle. Yeah. And you can see he's just enjoying it.
I love that flick over the band.
That's mostly like a bowen.
Yeah,
A bowen does that.
That's where I first learned it. Like,
We can
when
also
I first had it and it was like
bring the arm up like this,
crazy.
and we can
It's
even
like flicking a guitar string. It just seems
bring
to
that shoulder up.
push it all.
Or use our knuckles just to caress it. Right, or our thumbs. And just give him a little stretch. And of course, because he's so tight in here, then he's going to be quite, you know, we could even come in and work on the chest through here while he's opened up. Okay. Now, we can also do different ways to crack the back. So, there's gentle ways and there's more strong ways. Now, if you're doing a baby or you're doing a big guy, the principles are roughly the same. It's just the pressure that's different. We're always going to be on either side of the spine on these muscles. Okay, so you can feel those muscles. Big toe sacrum band or spinous erectus muscles. You don't want to be on the ribs. Okay, you could break some of these ribs and then puncture their lungs. Okay, so that's not a good outcome. And how we do it is we're going to apply pressure equally. So sometimes we have to turn the skin because there's a lot of movement. I'm still just holding the same spots, but the skin can move right over that spine and the ribs, and that's how much movement I have. If I turn the skin, then I don't have so much movement, all right? So a lot of my techniques will be about turning the skin and then applying direct pressure downward, okay? So on most people, the technique I use to do that is to come, I always come from this side, but I use my hand like this, okay? The muscle of my thumb and the muscle here, okay? And I turn the skin, so I get him to breathe, and then I turn his skin so that I'm equal pressure. And then I'm gonna go downward, okay? So this is he's quite a big guy, and this technique might not be strong enough to crack his back. So there'll be other ones, but this is a common one. I'll just show you how to do it. Big breath. Again, just shaking, making sure he's letting loose. Let him have a couple breaths. Oh, we got one. And it looks like I'm on his spine, but I'm not. Okay? I'm right beside it.
And will you try and get that in the one breath sometimes? Like
Sometimes I do, yeah.
Like the multiple movements in the one breath.
Yeah. And for a bigger guy like him, I'd actually, to be the most effective, I'd put him on the ground and I'd use my feet if I needed really heavy pressure. I can also do that with my elbows just to gain a little bit, gives me another 10 or 20% pressure. And how I do that is I'd start again, I'm starting below, but I'm turning to keep the skin tight. And I do that as he starts to breathe in. I just do the turn. And I let him breathe in again, just to make sure. I don't think I'm gonna get any more, because he's so tight. Okay, so that tightness is gonna keep his back out as well. And that's big toe sacrum band. But, so when people are working on me, because I'm probably bigger than him, and I don't do this, but a person could actually use their knees here, and then they hold the table. And then they pull their knees in at the end of the out breath, okay? So that's a nice way. You just gotta make sure you don't hook your toes up the person's, I've had that happen to me a few times, and I'm just like, oh, well, you're tightening up, and I'm like, yeah, fuck yeah, I am. So just watch out for that.
How do you twist? Because that would be better for me, I would say, because I am not that strong. I mean, I am strong, but I'm just not that.
Yeah, you're smaller,
And I find I can, like, I don't know.
Well, I can show you. Are you okay with her going up using her knees on your back? Okay, so just take your shoes off, and then
Do you still twist?
no,
Okay.
because your knees are kind of stable. Because there's another technique I use like this, where that creates stability too. This wouldn't be strong enough for him, but it's a basic principle of keeping that. I'm still able to keep a certain tautness this way in the skin, and that's
what does that mean again? Like,
tautness
why
is tightness.
Why do you need the skin tight again?
So that you're not going to go like this and smash into the side of his spine or his ribs.
Okay.
But yeah, if you want to hop on, go here and then put your knees in the middle of his back.
There?
That's it. And then you can hold on to the table if you can, or to him. And then what you're going to do is at the end of his out breath, you're going to push your knees into his back. End of the out breath. Wait till he's breathed everything out. And I may have gotten the ones, you know.
Okay, yeah.
And
But that's how you do it.
Pop it as well.
What's that?
Is it kind of like when you
Yeah.
have knees, you still want to do?
You still want to do a quick pop.
Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So I've done a few of it on the back where you just want to.
Yeah. And ultimately, like I said, first of all, he's quite tight, so that may not let go. But I could walk. I wouldn't. There's tables that are called Ashiatsu tables that have tables where you can walk on people. And that could be good for somebody of your size. My wife often walks on me. Or you can put a person down on the floor and we could walk on their back. So we'll have a day where we do a bit of walking on the hands and feet. Everybody just might need to bring in a few extra towels, or I'll bring in a couple pads and stuff like that. So I'll show you how to do that. Obviously I'm quite big, so I would only generally do that on a person about my size or bigger. Although you can walk on anybody's hands or feet. But I would be thinking, you know, he's probably got a vertebrae out in there, because you can often feel, if you feel the spine, you can feel where it moves to the side. But he's so tight in that big toe sacrum band that I'm still thinking I would do this after I released his big toes. Okay, but it feels quite jammed up in there. But I can't even get that with my strength, just pushing down on him. I would have to use either my heels, and how I would do it basically. And I had a woman in Hong Kong click almost all my back, and she was like smaller than you.
Oh, wow.
And what she did is she just put her big toes like this, and she had bars on the roof to hold on to, and then she just went boom, 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 boom. So not just did she stand on me, which could click, but she actually went like that, with all that energy directed into her big toes. But you could also do it with your heels, and go with your heels, like that, and that'll click sometimes. So you can also walk on the back with the arch of your foot like this, and you'll sometimes click. Okay, so I'll show you guys that when we're doing some floor work. But in the meantime, I'll get you into the side position, and we'll just do a little bit more special techniques on the side, and then we'll finish special techniques down. Whichever way you want.